Welcome to Still on the Air. I'm your host, David Pierce Anderson, and with me is the one, the only Jackson. Wait for it. Touchberry. Jackson, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well. How are you doing, Dave?
Doing great. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, it's been so long.
Probably yesterday.
Probably.
Yeah. What'd you do this weekend?
Got some friends visiting from out of town.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
All the way from Oregon and Washington, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just in for visiting, or?
One of them, the other one, his dad's turning 50, so he flew in for the birthday party.
Yeah. You know what they say? You only turn 50 once.
That's true.
Yep. So you don't want to miss it.
Yep.
Well, happy birthday to his dad.
I'll tell him.
Yeah. Thank you. That brings us to a part of the show. We like to give credit where credit is due, and what kind of people would we be if it didn't apply that same philosophy to our wonderful non-sponsors?
Yeah.
That's right. It's time to honor those that have loved us, cared for us, and have paid us absolutely nothing to advertise them. Today's non-sponsor is the Funko Pop Incredible Hulk bobblehead. This figure is armed to the teeth with the most beautiful armor that I've ever seen a Funko wear. From the sharp contrast of color and the gray metal to the beautiful frills of the feathered helmet, this figure will shock the house and is an incredible addition to any collection. Look at that bobble.
It sure is incredible.
Look at that mug next to it. Yeah.
That was the most artistic description of a Funko Pop I have ever heard in my life.
Yes. I wish I could take credit for the writing of that.
You can tell who did. Justin's very passionate about these.
He's got many passions, and Funko Pops are one of them.
Yeah.
This is the Thor Ragnarok one, right?
That was a great movie.
I gotta see it.
Yes, you do. Oh my God.
I mean, I'm protesting superhero movies a little bit, except for the two coming out this year, which are Black Panther and the Avengers.
I understand.
Yeah, you gotta see those ones. And I saw Wonder Woman last year, so it's not like this protest is going well.
No, you're not doing a good job.
But it is in this instance. But I hear it's a funny movie and it's a good one, and I think you should go see it.
Okay.
Yeah. So do that. We got some stories, Jackson. Some good stories.
Tell me the stories.
All right. Now it's time for the news. Over the weekend, noisy.vice.com released the list of the Daves. This wasn't a ranking of the Daves because they're all #1, said the website, and I personally do agree with them. This list had musicians like Grohl and Matthews, comedians like Chappelle and Letterman, and miscellaneous like Spade and Schwimmer. Dave from the Goliath Story even made the list. As stated on the list, only a Dave could beat such a powerful giant. Legend has it that the Goliath defeated 12 guys named Gary. I will say I was a little disappointed I didn't make the list, but I asked our producer Justin Stovall to write up a little something on how he would describe me. This is the first time I'm seeing it. So he says, we all love Dave, but no one loves Dave as much as Dave loves Dave. Also, he has very nice hair. Thank you. Definitely in the top 10 of Dave's.
I agree with that. I think you really nailed.
No one loves Dave as much as Dave loves Dave's. But it's a very vague description for a list of Daves.
Somehow you still made the top 10 though.
That's
with that
fine.
vagueness.
You know what? I wanna, that's a great segue.
Okay.
Top 10. The one and only, the inventor of the top 10 list is Dave Letterman.
Is that true?
Pretty much. He made it famous, at least. I mean, there have obviously been lists before in life, but he was the original one. He put it on a show and everything. But I've been reading this book, got it for Christmas. He's a talented guy.
I didn't know you could read.
Well, it was part of my New Year's resolution to learn how to read.
Well, then you're doing pretty great.
The lack of pictures has been hurting my case.
Not a lot of colors. It's just...
But that one, that's a great picture.
That's a good picture,
That's a
yeah.
good picture, and I've really just been staring at that every time I open it. It's a good book, though. David Letterman. We tried to have him on the show, but he's a busy man.
He's a busy guy.
An Oklahoma City man stole $400 worth of beef jerky over the weekend. He walked in for Pampers and walked out with a whole lot of Jack Links. Police are in an active pursuit to find this man. $400 of beef jerky evenly translate to 400 hours sitting on the toilet. The Oklahoma City Police Department will dry out all resources to find this man. I'd say he's on the lamb, but he's actually on the cow.
How much do you visualize 400 pounds?
I mean, they're small and I think kind of light.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's barrels full.
I think the news to me is that a store had 400 pounds of beef jerky out.
That's a really good
Able
point.
to steal without somebody noticing.
Yeah. That's how I want to know. So how did he walk out?
Maybe
Was
it was
the
like
Stay Puft guy?
maybe it was like on a jack. He just like took it with him.
Just walked out.
Yeah.
But still, that doesn't look suspicious at all.
Nope, not at all.
Well, I envy that man. I like beef jerky. the house of two Guinness World Record holding cats burned down late last year, and the cats, Cygnus and Arcturus, I knew I'd have to mess up the name, but they're both missing. Cygnus has the longest tail of all the domestic cats, while Arcturus is the tallest domestic cat. After the humans escaped the blaze, the feline celebrities took off. As stated in the NBC article, Arcturus and Cygnus and a third cat escaped the fire. My theory is that the third cat left a candle burning while everyone was asleep, because he's called the third cat and not a cool name like the others.
Those are very cool names.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that cats had their own house. I mean, like, if you make the list, I guess, it makes sense.
Well, they are celebrities.
Yeah.
Famous cats. Yeah. No, and cats, they like to do those kind of things. Like burn down houses when they don't feel, when they feel they've been shorted.
It was only a matter of time.
Yeah.
They're probably wanting revenge for their names.
How does that cat feel, though? The third cat. I mean, honestly.
It's called the third one.
The third cat, and these other two have world records.
Yeah.
And he's the third cat.
He was probably bullied a lot.
Yeah.
Well, that's too bad.
Poor guy.
Let's move on.
We'll move on. Now, we here at Still on the Air try to avoid talking about the hopefully soon to be impeached Donald Trump, but we feel like we aren't doing our job by not talking about him at all. So we decided to hit on a couple of big points. It has officially been a year of the Trump presidency, and I'm sorry, I think we wrote that wrong. It says it's only been a year. That's right, so we're screwed. In a year, Donald Trump has done everything he can to piss off and endanger the lives of everyday Americans, specifically those of everyone who is not white or rich. He and Congress finally passed legislation, beyond just cutting funding to programs that middle and lower class families need to survive, and introduced a tax cut that gave him his million buddies a different kind of stimulus package.
You said it all.
I said it all right there. In other news, Trump news, Donald Trump was declared healthy. Now, this is a bigger lie than anything Hillary ever said, because that man is not healthy. Someone is lying because, according to the charts, Donald Trump is reported to be 6 feet 4 inches and only 236 pounds. Yeah. How many people decided to compare him to other people who have similar body measurements, and the result is, well, just look at it. All right. Now, we're not going to look at it. You can look him up for yourself. I'm not calling the president and his doctor liars, but I am saying that they aren't telling the truth, which, according to the transitive property, does mean I am calling them liars. They're liars. Donald Trump cannot be healthy. He is an unstable diet, and he never exercises. But this is the climate he wants to create, one where he can say whatever he wants and immediately have it accepted as fact. So since he can say whatever he wants, I decided I can say whatever I want, or Justin did, and I want to say that Donald Trump is a misogynistic racist who is overweight and completely unqualified to lead the country. Granted, Justin wrote those words, but I'm not saying they're not true.
They're absolutely true. I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah. There was a lot with that.
There's a lot of let's cleanse the palate. Let's keep moving.
Yeah. Well, that's what we got for stories right now. You know, we did some writing over the weekend.
Yes, we did.
What you like to write?
I do.
Yeah. So we started this writing group.
Yeah. Are we going into that?
I don't know. Talk about your writing experience. Why do you like writing?
I feel like I have a lot of important things to say and nobody listens to me.
Good reception on that one.
Yeah.
Our studio audience loved it. Wow.
Jeez.
So no one still listens to you, but they look at what you have to say.
Yeah, if I put it in front of them.
You force it down there.
So far, it's just been my teachers that have to grade it, so they kind of have to look at it.
What kind of grades have you been getting?
Pretty good ones.
Yeah, that's good.
Doing all right.
Are you still creative writing minor?
Yes.
Yeah. You want it? Is writing the goal? Because I know you're electronic media major.
Ideally, I would like to write for TV. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you should help out writing for these shows.
I think Justin does a pretty good job.
Yeah. That's a lot of fun. What's going on, man? Back there, they're having a ball back there.
A lot of fun back there. I wish I knew.
Yeah, I don't know at whose cost though. We're gonna take a quick break, but when we return, we'll be joined by student activist Rachel Kindred.
Let's.
Are you an EMU student interested in getting the first-hand experience working at a radio station? Well, say no more. EMU offers a class through Eagle Radio that will thoroughly prepare you for a real-life experience. But first, you have to register for the class. Pick a date and a time slot, then the world is yours. Eagle Radio allows you to be fully independent and customize your own show. Have real conversations about the news, celebrity gossip, update listeners about the weather, play a trivia game. It's your show. You're free to name your show whatever you want and play any edited music of your choice. If you
Anything.
have any debates and you feel your words need to be heard, then Eagle Radio is just for you.
See, the reason I was.
Welcome back. Joining us is Rachel Kindred. Rachel, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Doing all right. Hopefully you will bring some stability to this show. But you are a very, very active throughout the classroom. You're in Evergreen, which we featured
Yes.
last year. I know you do some stuff with the art gallery
Yes,
here.
I'm a gallery intern here.
Awesome.
yeah.
That's cool. The one I want to talk to you about, though, is EMU Students for Choice, right? Talk to us a little bit about that group right now.
Yeah, so I'm the vice president of Students for Choice, and so we're an organization on campus that tries to advocate for the right for every individual to have autonomy and agency over their own reproductive and sexual health, and we also try to provide comprehensive education on a wide variety of those kind of topics, so like contraception, access and use, abortion care and rights, and medically accurate sex information.
Wow, that's all very important. How do those meetings go about? Is it informative, teaching kind of?
Yeah, we try to kind of do a lot of different stuff. So our meetings are every Wednesday from 5:30 to 6:30 in Pray Herald, in case anybody wants to come on by. But so we do a lot of different things. We do try to have a lot of discussions. You know, even the board, we can still learn. There's always stuff to learn, so we try to like maybe read some articles, have some discussions. We plan stuff. We've done a couple of counter protests, so we try to organize stuff like that. Yeah.
I have a question about
Yes.
that. Because I feel your group is pretty unique in that you have a group that is the exact opposite of everything you believe. How does that usually work?
What do you mean?
There's another group on campus, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
won't name it.
Students for life.
So I mean, always we try to be civil and respectful. You know, nobody's trying to start fights, but I do think it's important for people to know that there is a voice on campus that is the opposite, that's pro-choice. So you know, I know that Students for Life does a lot of talking, and we try to do some of that too. I think a lot of people remember there was a really big pro-life demonstration on campus last semester that wasn't put on by Students for Life. It was a different organization.
Interesting.
But a couple of days after that, my organization, we held a little counter protest in the same spot. So it's about just letting people know that there is that opposite view, and that if that's something that they're interested in, then that we're here.
And I think that's really important to
Yeah.
have both viewpoints, but
Yes,
also
yeah, absolutely,
knowing that
absolutely,
they're both there,
yeah.
and keep it civil.
Yes,
That's always
exactly.
fun. Now I want to talk about over this weekend, because
Yes.
you had a busy weekend.
I did.
A lot of traveling. There were a couple of women's marches, Ann Arbor and Lansing.
Yes.
You attended both those?
I did. So the Ann Arbor one was on Saturday, and I just went with my sister. But then on Sunday, it was the Women's March in Lansing, and I went with Students for Choice. So we all kind of road trip up there. It was fun, and we all made signs. It was just really awesome. It was so crowded, so well attended. There were some awesome speakers.
The signs are always. I
Yeah,
love the
I know,
signs.
I love it.
I see them on social media. There's some absolutely
There were
fantastic signs.
awesome signs
Yeah.
for these protests.
Oh yeah, there was one in Lansing. It wasn't a sign, but this guy had this huge like paper mache Donald Trump head, and he was wearing like a jail suit.
Oh,
it was
really?
hilarious. Yeah.
That takes some
I
dedication.
know, that's like dedication.
And art on, there's the other side. You can respect that from the
Right.
artistic standpoint. That's pretty cool. And so, talk about, you mentioned the speakers, and I mean, what kind of movement do you feel when you're in that atmosphere?
It's really inspiring. So a lot of the speakers, there were mostly women of color and trans women, which I've always thought it's really important to propel those people to the front of the movement, because having them at the forefront of the movement is only going to help. And it's more, as a white woman, it's my job to just, listen and hear their points of view. So it was really inspiring and educational to just listen. There were trans women who were talking about trans violence. Lots of women of color talking about their experience about violence against women. It was just really, and to be there with everyone else just cheering and it's and the way things are right now with Donald Trump as president, it just, you feel like a sense of togetherness.
Right, and I think that's important because
Yeah.
it seems like there's definitely tension and
Yes, that's an understatement.
right, trying to be pulled apart. But I appreciate everyone going out. Is there kind of like, I don't know, maybe a message throughout the marches and when you go? Is there a message that, I don't know, hits you the most or that you take away from it?
Yeah, I would say it's more just, I think the overarching message of those marches is that we're here. This opposition is here and we're not going away. And over and over again, what the speakers of the marches have said is that everyone needs to keep being motivated to go out and be involved. So this isn't just show up at the march one time and post a picture on Instagram and then, you did your job. You have to keep going. You have to vote. One of the messages of this year was encouraging women to actually run for office. Obviously it's important for everyone to get out and vote, but to have more women in office at every single level of government is really important.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I guess you mentioned the speakers at these marches. What kind of crowd is it? I mean, is it majority white women? I mean, what kind of crowds do you see?
I noticed a lot of diversity, especially at the Ann Arbor one,
Right.
which is not surprising at all. But I noticed a lot of diversity at the Lansing one too. Lots of guys there too, which was awesome.
That's the real point.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that the guys are getting out there.
Yes. There were a lot of guys there too, helping cheering us on. So
Good. And I think that's
yeah.
important too. Is there anything, I guess, when speaking of EMU Students for Choice, what kind of, besides going to the marches, what kind of stuff do they do to promote themselves or promote feminism?
Yeah, so we're still a bit of a newer group on campus. We've only been active for a few years. So right now we're really just trying to get get it out that we exist, that because we'd love to have more members. So in the past we've done chalking, we've done counter protests, we've put up posters for this campaign called the 1 in 3 campaign, which tries to get out the message that 1 in 3 women will have an abortion in her lifetime. So that's like sharing personal stories. And in the future, we're hoping to put on an event, like a sex education event.
Cool. And that's open for everyone too,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Awesome. Well, we're going to be back after the break. We got a little game Jackson and I are going to play. We'll see you back.
I'll be right with you.
I'm just looking to charge my phone. I'm looking for keeps. What can I do for you?
I got a glimpse into what the future might hold. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm ready for that.
Guess I'm gonna be here a while. People find me when they need me.
We're back, and as promised, we have an interesting game planned. Already, you've kicked me out of the desk.
I'm just taking over, guys.
This is how it
We
goes.
don't usually see the lower half of your body.
I know. Proof I wear pants.
I saw it.
I'm excited to be over here, though, but it's kind of cool. All right, so anyway, we wrote some fake news stories, Jackson and I, for each other. We haven't seen what the other has written. So this is the first time we're going to read them live. We're each going to take turns reading what the other person has wrote for us. We're going to try not to laugh. And the game is every time we laugh, that's a point against us, which Rachel will be keeping track of. If you want to ring the bell, you can ring the bell. But it's going to be interesting.
I think you're going first, Dave.
All right, here we go. What camera am I looking at? There we go. There we go. 3's my camera. All right. Breaking news. Fame absurdist Bork Flapstick made a controversial statement on Twitter today, quoting Flapstick, "Fee, fee, fee, ho, dangle, dangle."
Breaking news. Frat boy wears an Argyle sweater to prove he's changed. After his mid-December girlfriend Amber left him for making out with her best friend Amber, Brad decided it was a time for a change. He's hung up the Sperry's and turned off the EDM, going through changes. Trying to better myself, he tweeted at 2 a.m. yesterday with a selfie of him in a sweater. Both Ambers liked said tweet, and they will be meeting up for PBRs after Brad's beer pong tourney.
Breaking news. Early this morning, a geologist named Brock Pebble discovered a wholly new variety of rock. In his statement, he said, "Yes, I decided to name the rock Rocky." Just really loves Sylvester Stallone movies. And if this rock were a person, he'd be named Dwayne.
Well, that's not what I wrote. Breaking news, a man named Tito Tarantino is hospitalized after eating from Tiny Tony's Taste of Old Italiano. He ordered his pasta to be cooked to fall off the bone, yet he was served moist pasta. Little did the restaurant know, but Tito was allergic to moist. Tiny Tony tempted Tino to try to tenderize his throat, but Tito was choking too viciously. An eyewitness noted that the chef was insulted with Tito's allergic reaction. The witness reenacted the chef's reaction by slapping their forehead and saying, "Somebody choke on my spaghetti."
Laughing at my own. Breaking news. I droop to the ground. I make the biggest soup around, and I poop with great sound.
Breaking news. New chili-flavored dark roast has Starbucks bathrooms lines seeping into the dining area. The owner of the chain, Hal Starbucks, stated that this was a necessary flavor that their scientists have been working on long and hard on. The popularity for the drink has rivaled other Starbucks favorites like pumpkin spice lattes and the McRib. Next time you have 30 minutes, stop in any Starbucks and order the chili-flavored dark roast.
Breaking news, the jig is up. James Franco comes out and admits that Dave Franco was just an elaborate prank. It turns out that we thought was a living, breathing actor by the name of Dave Franco was actually just a piece of driftwood. See also Sam Worthington, Sophia Coppola, and Brendan Fraser.
And breaking news, Dodge has recalled the Dodge MCR due to its defect that causes the car to brake every time Welcome to the Black Parade comes on. The song doesn't even have to be played in the car. If Welcome to the Black Parade is played anywhere in the world, the car will automatically slam to a stop. The brilliant man behind this idea said that out of respect, you should stop and listen to its mastery.
Breaking news, aliens have landed on Earth. A delegation from the planet Mixelpoog decided to make contact with humanity and share their wisdom. These aliens are rotund, magenta, and all have face tattoos of Buddha. I guess we know who's getting to heaven.
I left on my own. Single dad drops meowing cat toy into his blender while making his kids smoothies. Raymond, father of 2, gets his kids on the weekend. This weekend was going to be special because not only did he rent Black Sheep starring Chris Farley for the kids, a comedy classic, but he also got the ingredients for a banana smoothie. With the bananas and milk in the blender, Ray reached for some ice to spice things up when he knocked the cat toy into his blender. This meowing doll got caught up in the blades and made a wretched claw meow wow 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 chugga chugga meow. That could be heard from houses away. Raymond served his children the drinks, not wanting to waste good manners.
Hey, I got another one. Oh man, you did very well.
Thank
Both
you.
in reading and writing.
I am a little upset. I have to be honest. Justin edited some of mine.
Hey, Justin, what's the big deal?
Some of them were better, but one of them was not. I am disappointed.
Justin is our producer, director, and overall dictator of the show, apparently.
Apparently, I thought we had freedom here on Still on the Air.
Nope.
Nope.
It's all in that booth. Meh. Well, all that really matters, I know I was laughing. I was laughing at a lot. What was the tally?
So we have a grand total of Jackson with 3
Oh.
and David with 5.
Oh, wow.
So Jackson won.
I was trying too hard to read the teleprompter.
I'm surprised you didn't laugh during the, when you were basically just saying gibberish. Like, I was over here cracking up.
That was the one I was trying to get you on. Make that as long and drawn out.
I tried a couple strategies.
Yeah.
I wanted you to say weird stuff.
Double O will pretty
Yeah.
much get me on anything.
That's what I was thinking. The poos,
Yes.
the goos, the...
Whatever that, I don't know, the city or whatever one of them was. But
I could actually see Starbucks doing like a chili flavored
chili dark
coffee.
roast?
Like, I would not be surprised if that came out.
Like maybe a chili pepper, but like
no,
you think
chili,
like meat?
beef
I don't know.
chili.
I
Ooh,
wouldn't
bean
be
chili.
shocked,
Yeah.
honestly.
Ugh.
That I thought I would get you on because I know you like coffee and I know you like chili. So maybe you didn't laugh. You're like, oh, I'll try that.
I could see
idea,
that. Yeah.
The lines were seeping into the Starbucks dining.
The lines were seeping into this.
Yeah. And order one today was spelled O-R-D-U-R-E for anyone, and that's
Order.
synonymous for poop.
Oh.
Yeah. Smart humor.
You were a lot more highbrow than I was expecting.
What?
Also, your stories were a lot longer.
What does that mean? Hold on. We're not going to pass over that. What is more highbrow than I expected?
I
What are you
was
trying to say?
expecting more funny sounds that you were
Okay.
trying to make me say.
That's all I know. We'll be back after the break. Oh, thanks so much for tuning in. Also, special thanks to Rachel for joining us. EMU Students for Choice.
Yes.
Check them out on Wednesdays in Prairie Herald. It was an absolute pleasure, as always. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media at ETV@EMU and watch all of our shows on Campus Cable Channel 18 or anytime on YouTube. YouTube. I'm David Pierce Anderson, Jackson Touchwood, Rachel Kindred. I'll see you next time. It's been a pleasure.
See you next time, too.